So, let's get into the body horror film, The Substance. Yeah, it's got the scares for sure. But the real horror here, the stuff that sticks with you, it's the film's profound and really disturbing look at our society's obsession with youth and the tragic price we end up paying for refusing to just be human. I mean, it's a question the film asks in the most gut-punching way possible. It forces you to confront the real cost of perfection in a world that pretty much treats aging like a disease. Let's dive in. Okay, first things first, the central problem. We're talking about that relentless, impossible pressure society puts on people to stay young, to be beautiful, and to basically never ever show your age. So we meet our main character, Elisabeth, played by the amazing Demi Moore. She's a huge success, right? But she feels herself becoming invisible. And her crisis isn't just about getting a few wrinkles. It's about her entire worth feeling devalued simply because her body is doing what bodies are supposed to do. And this gets right to the heart of it. This isn't just vanity. It's a full-on rebellion against the fundamental truths of being alive. We get old, and eventually we die. She wants to literally break the rules of being a human being. So what's her answer to this existential dread? Well, it's a piece of technology, a marvel that promises a complete do-over by creating a perfect, younger copy of herself. The film gives us this mysterious product, the substance. And what it does is allow her to generate a clone, a double, named Sue. And Sue is everything society tells Elisabeth she should be. She's young, she's flawless, and she becomes this object of intense desire. And right here, you can see the two selves laid bare. You've got the original, Elisabeth, facing the tough reality of an aging body. And on the other side, you've got the artificial copy, Sue, literally engineered for social media likes and public approval. But as we're about to find out, this perfect creation, she has some dangerously ambitious ideas of her own. This is where things get really dark. That perfect solution completely unravels and turns into this terrifying battle for survival. And this is where some fascinating and frankly, pretty horrifying philosophy kicks in. So any harmony that existed between Elisabeth and her perfect double, Sue, it just completely shatters. Sue isn't some quiet substitute. She's her own person with her own wants. And her number one desire becomes to live, which means she's got to get rid of the original Elisabeth permanently. Now, to really understand the nightmare that's about to unfold, we have to touch on a kind of wild philosophical idea. You see, Elisabeth's goal wasn't just to be young again. It was to create a body free from all its limitations, a blank slate of pure, unfiltered desire. Philosophers actually call this a body without organs. And I know that sounds bizarre, but stay with me. The idea is to liberate a body from all the rules and structures society imposes on it and just unleash its true potential. But what happens when that potential is, well, monstrous? And this is the movie's critical warning. Elisabeth's attempt to create this new free body, it's not liberating at all. She falls right into what they call the trap of the concept. So instead of finding freedom, breaking down her organized self just leads to utter chaos and a truly horrifying end. This battle for control ends with the two of them hideously merging into one single being. The result is Monster Sue. And this is what that philosophical failure looks like. It's a body driven by nothing but raw, destructive, unchecked ambition. And that's exactly what it is. A demented mass of desire. It's a body that has literally consumed itself in its quest for perfection, leaving behind only this tragic, horrifying shell, propelled by a monstrous, insatiable impulse. It is the absolute worst-case scenario for a desire that refuses any and all limits. So all of this builds to a really powerful critique of our modern obsession with, technological quick fixes for self-improvement. What's so interesting here is how the film's whole premise acts as this dark parody of a very profound religious idea called theosis, which is the concept of becoming divine through spiritual work. But in the film, technology offers a shortcut, a kind of instant, buy-it-off-the-shelf version of transformation. This table just makes the contrast so incredibly clear. The path of the substance is a transaction. You buy a product, you get an instant result, and the outcome is total self-destruction. Real theosis, on the other hand, is a slow, spiritual journey of union, and it leads to wholeness, to salvation. One turns the self into a product, the other makes it sacred. So, after that whole nightmare's journey, what's the movie's core message? What are we supposed to take away from all this?
Ultimately, the film's message is an incredibly powerful one. It's arguing that trying to escape our own human limitations by chasing some artificial, society-approved idea of a perfect body, well, that doesn't lead to freedom. It leads to a prison that we build for ourselves.
At the end of the day, this story is a mirror. It shows us that rejecting our natural, finite bodies for some impossible ideal is just a one-way ticket to self-destruction. The film makes a powerful case that real liberation isn't about becoming perfect for others, but about finally accepting the imperfect, whole person we already are.
So, The Substance leaves us with one last, chilling question to chew on. In a world that's constantly promising to fix all our flaws with the next big thing, what are we willing to sacrifice to be perfect? And maybe more importantly, what part of our own humanity might we lose in the process? It's definitely something to think about.